this, guys. Before we start this vlog, I would just do a little bit of an update because there are a couple of students that really deserve to be in this vlog and they never made it in because they had to get vetted out, which is a real shame, and they were on our horses. So I thought before the vlog starts I might share a little snippet of their training because they were doing so well. Unfortunately, the Wednesday before we left for eventing, Molly had a fall off one of our horses, just unfortunate loss of balance over a jump she did, and that was her out. And then we took TJ up with us, and Holly rode her just to get her used to the environment, another ride out and about. And overnight, her hood that was fitting correctly, somehow she managed to pull it down over her eye and injure her eye, which made her out for the eventing as well. Just unfortunate, but that is horses and that is eventing. Injuries and falls happen. It's just part of the parcel, but I just want to congratulate those two girls as well for all the effort that they put in leading up to eventing. We are eventing class of 2025. First two riders, Buddy, my horse, and Keely, and just off to the side there we've got Marley and Charlotte, the first two in the dressage. Here's Telford. Yeah, Buddy. Good luck, Blake. Blake and Roxy, number one of two horses. It is busy, busy. Off you go, go warm up. Charlotte and George have just come out. Bella in the 95. We're doing so well, team. We have had no score below 60. No score. Ooh, look, Shannon's back. Celine's back. And we've got Izzy grooming, who is on her rider's horse. Lucky Izzy. Good vibes, yes, Bella. Good vibes. First up is Amali and Charlotte. Charlotte is a lease horse. We were very kindly offered her for Amali, and this is their very first eventing start, both of them. They did an amazing job for their very first dressage test. Well done. What a way to start the day. Let's put the judges' sheet up. Next up was Keely and my Buddy boy. So Buddy, my horse, and they did their first dressage test together. He had his highest score. Went out of the dressage with 17. I'll put the judges' sheet up. I was so impressed with these two to start the day. But he generally does very well in the level 0 and 1, but this is incredible. 9s, finishing with an 82. Amazing. All right, our next first start is Caitlin and Martina. Now, these two have worked really, really hard on calming down. It has been predominantly a racing horse, and this was really challenging. They worked so hard and got an amazing dressage test score. She stayed calm throughout it. She kept the horse travelling, and I'm so proud of Caitlin and Martini and their score for their very first dressage test. All right, we're going to head to our first 80 centimetre rider. Here's Blake and Roxy. Now, these two are predominantly show jumpers, and this is their very first eventing start. They did such a good job at this very first phase. Now, the judging is a lot harder when you come up the levels. So the first two riders you've seen were in first start. Now we're in the 80 centimetres, and you're going to see harsher judging, more judging like official dressage scoring. So here is his judge's seat. Well done, Blake. Good start. Next up is another lease horse, Charlotte and George. Now, George had never done an eventing start, and we opted to put him in to the 65 centimetres, which was a big ask, and they started phase one incredibly well. First ever dressage test, a lease horse, so the rider's not used to the horse, and I was so proud of these two. Let's have a look at the judges' sheets. Next up is our 95 centimetre rider, Bella and Flo. Now, as I said, the tests get harder and harder. The marking gets harder and harder as you step up through the grades. Now, this was Bella's first 95 centimetre event with Flo. They had done a whole year of 80 centimetres, and we thought, right, let's step up. They started amazing. Unfortunately, due to me calling the test there, little error, we did get an elimination, but the kind technical director said she may continue just being eliminated, so no scoring for her show jumping and cross country. We did the show jumping, and then we got told about the technical elimination, so very kindly got to carry on. And for us in this event, for Bella and Flo, it was about finishing, which they absolutely did. You have to check it out when we go further along in the vlog. So well done, Bella and Flo. And now we know that in eventing 95, no calling. Straight off one horse and onto her second horse. Here's Bella with the lease horse Lou. Now they're doing 65 centimetres. We're very kindly given Lou to do this event on, and didn't find a rider that really matched him. So Bella said, I will give him a go. He is such a force. He's very strong, but he is 20, so he knows what he's doing. He didn't score that well for dressage. I just think looking back at the time, I thought, that was harsh. But looking at these videos, could be because he's not really moving forward. He seems to be quite rigid in these rather than being supple, and that's exactly what we want for a dressage horse, is suppleness. So let's have a look at the judges' sheet and comments now. The next combination to go was Aaliyah and Melly, the Norwegian Fjord. He's a rare breed horse. Now, we gave them their very own vlog, so make sure you go check that out. Blake on horse number 2. How's she feeling? Spicy, ready to go. Not barrel racing now, Indy. Last to go. No pressure, Blake. I jump in and do another little voiceover again. The wind at Cromwell was so strong and so cold. Right, last to go, as we said, Blake and Indy. Now, Indy is also another awesome lease horse. She has never done an eventing start, and I don't think she had done a dressage test. I know this horse for over a decade now, and she's a fabulous little barrel racer, hunting machine and cattle horse. She is a legend. But this is something very different for Indy. I thought for their very first test, this was a fantastic start. She was also doing the 65 centimetres. She hadn't done a lot of jumping, probably 12 in her entire training. She's in a vlog where we do take the horses to Tapanui and do a little eventing training session, but she's outstanding and very good test for the very first dressage test. Let's look at the judges' sheets. And that wraps up the dressage phase of our 2-day event. Next up, Marley and Charlotte. Into the show jumping. that completes phase 2. We're heading to cross country now for the first start. They do all their disciplines, all their 3 phases in one day. First start, cross country. Let's go. And just like that, we are in to phase 3, cross country. Whoop whoop. Get check. 4 in the first start. O'Malley and Charlotte, Buddy and Keely, and Malachi and Alea. We have Caitlin getting ready for her first start. 2 to go, Caitlin. 2 to go, just breathe. I was so proud of our first start riders. 3 out of the 4 placed, but not only that, all of them completed, and you should be so, so proud of yourself, girls. Well done. Well, this is us walking the course in dark. The head torch. We have been so busy. When you walked the 65 centimetres, came in for pizza. Now we're doing the 95. Do the 80 in the morning. Bella here will walk the 95 again in the morning, so they all walk their courses twice. So I'll show you a jump in a minute. Day 2 of eventing at Cromwell, and the first lot of students are out, and we are going to go walk the course for the second time. There's 3 lots of courses to walk this morning, and it is 7:44. A little bit late this morning, but we have half an hour. So let's get into it. I'll show you some of the jumps. All right, here is our 95 centimetre number 1, and then the 80 centimetre number 1 as well, and then the 65 down here. We have 3 heights today: 65 centimetres, 80 and 95. So a couple of nice jumps to start the cross country. Question. We've trained for this, guys. Number 1 of the day. Good luck, Belle. Number 2. Number 2. And that's a wrap on the 2025 Telford Equine. I want to thank all the supporters, the parents, the past students, the parents of past students, the organisers of the event, and everyone that made the event possible. It was an incredible one, and I'm sure it'll be very hard to top, but we'll do it all again next year. Thanks for watching. See you next time.